Welcome our students in e-lecture of English Grammar for second year, Chapter 5, the passive. In last lecture, we talk about negatives and questions. We have two types of negatives, negative with words like no, no one, nothing, none, and so on. Negative with auxiliaries like isn't, aren't, wasn't, wouldn't, and so on. While type of a question such as WH question, tag questions, statement as a questions, rhetorical question, question inside a question, and so on. Today we have a passive. We will talk about this topic from these 2 points. Number one, passive tenses. We have a present and past. The present contains simple, continuous, and perfect. Past also contains simple, continuous, and perfect. While number two, we have passives with modals like can, could, will, would, may, and might. Let us start our lecture with question. Why we use an active verb and why we use a passive verb. We use an active verb to say what the subject does, while a passive verb to say what happens to the subject. What about steps of changing the sentence from active to passive? Number one, remove the subject of active sentence. Number two, put the object at the beginning of the sentence. Number three, determine the tense of active sentence. Number four, determine the object if it is singular or plural. To use correct auxiliary verb. Number five, always use the main verb in case past participle in passive sentence. And finally, number six, write the complement of the sentence. Let us start with passive tenses. Number one, present simple passive. See this parent, object, am is are plus past participle. Because this or these auxiliaries verb which use with the present simple tense. And see the following example. Paraguay's import oranges changes to the past. At the beginning we remove Paraguay because it's the subject of sentence and put oranges at the beginning. Oranges is plural. We must use are to become oranges are imported from Paraguay. We put ed for imported because it is regular verb has ed in the past and in particular or in past participle. Another example, he watched TV or he watched TV in the evening. Change the following sentence to the passive also. At the beginning we remove he because it's the subject of sentence and put TV at the beginning because it's the object. TV is watched in the evening. Now we have number two, present continuous passive. As you see, we have this parent. Object is am plus being plus past participle. Let us see this example. They are building a new school and creating 2 new routes for access, changing it to the passive. At the beginning, we must remove they because it's the subject of sentence and put a new school at the beginning. A new school is being built because it's singular, and 2 routes are being created for access because 2 routes is plural. We use are plus being created for access. Number 3, present perfect. Present perfect passive. The pattern is object, have, has, plus been, plus past participle, as you see. As example, you have cleaned your car. This sentence in active, change it to the passive. At the beginning, we remove the subject of sentence, you, to become your car has been cleaned. Your car has been cleaned. Passive but passive. We have this pattern of object plus was were plus past participle. Let us see this example. Air Canada cancelled our flight and stranded us in Vancouver. Change it to passive. We have sentence or active sentence, change it to the passive sentence. At the beginning, Air Canada is removed because it's the subject of sentence. We put our flight at the beginning to become our flight was cancelled and we were stranded in Vancouver. Next here. At first we have was cancelled because the object was singular, our flight. After that we have were stranded because the object we here is plural. Number 5, past continuous passive. See this pattern, object was, were, plus being, plus past participle. As example, they were cleaning the floor and washing the windows earlier today. Change the sentence to passive. At beginning, we remove they because it's the subject of sentence. Put the flower at the beginning. The flower is singular. Flower was being cleaned and the windows were being washed early today. Finally, number 6, past perfect passive. See this pattern, object had been past participle. Let us see this example. Everyone had warned me about the weather before I went to Scotland. Change it to passive. At the beginning, we remove everyone because it's the subject of sentence. To become, I had been warned about the weather before I went to Scotland. Now we'll talk about passive with models. Number 1 or pattern 1, object can, may, will, etc. plus be plus past participle. See this example? You can't see the house from the street. Change this sentence to the passive. We omit or remove we because it's the subject of sentence to become. The house can't be seen from the street. The house can't be seen from the street. See number 2, object could, might, would, plus be, plus past participle. As example, they would read phonetics and phonology. Change it to passive. At the beginning, we remove they because it's the subject of sentence. To become, phonetics and phonology would be read. Phonetics and phonology would be read. Number 3, we form model perfect passive with a model. As you see in this pattern, model, have, has, had, plus been, plus past participle. What I mean by model like would, will, can, could, may, might, and so on. See this example. If he had been caught cheating, he would have been expelled from school. See this pattern. Would have been expelled. Number 4. We form phrasal model passive with the present or past phrasal model, such as be going to or have to plus be and past participle. See this example. A place had to be found for all boxes. Here we have had to plus be plus past participle. Next example, my old car is going to be sold. We have is going to plus be plus past participle. After finished our lecture, try to check yourself. Change the following active sentences to the passive. As you see, we have many sentences in active, do it passive, and we will discuss your answers. Now we are reached to the end of our lecture. Thank you for your watching and feel free to ask me any question.